Hmm. Yankees are being linked to the Cardinals again. The Yankees are being linked to the St. Louis Cardinals again, right? We talked about it about a week ago about Brendan Donovan. Somebody was putting out some stuff on him. Now, this is right from St. Louis Cardinals and Sports Illustrated. Okay, Yankees are being linked to the Cardinals with Nolan Aronado. Now, I'm glad that John Heyman actually stepped up and spoke out about this, essentially saying the Yankees are really not showing any interest in Nolan Arenado. And why is there a reason? Well, maybe it's because they've already bumped George Lombard Jr. up to Double A, right? He's clearly in their future plans, preferably for third base, which would make the need for Nolan Arenado a little bit less significant, right? Now he does have positional versatility, so that if they did bring him and Paul Goldschmidt didn't come back next year, they can move Arenado to first place, and then first base, and then when George Lombard is ready, you can play him a third. But I think that's not going to happen until at the earliest 2026, maybe in 2027. We got to let him continue to develop. So, but again, they're constantly being linked to the Cardinals. There's some Eric Fetty, there's relievers there, Ryan Helsley, that they're kind of loosely being linked to. But the two guys that the Yankees are being linked to on a most regular basis is Nolan Arenado and Brendan Donovan. So, and again, if you're a Yankee fan, you want to know when news comes out, and you want to know if it has teeth, if it's accurate, please subscribe to this channel right now if you haven't done that yet. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Right? And turn on your notifications too. That way, when I put out live stuff, you'll know it, and you'll be the front of the line when this stuff comes in. Okay, and I thank you for both. I really, really do. We're on the road to 30,000 subs. We're going to try to get there this year. So your help is definitely greatly appreciated. So with that said, again, they're still being linked to Nolan Arenado. Now, there's a couple of different things. Like they're obviously looking for a right-handed bat, but you still have two right-handed bats that have yet to return. Giancarlo Stanton, who now we're hearing that once his 60-day IL trip is officially over, that he could be returning with the team, potentially even late this month. So, and we're hearing that DJ LeMahieu is going to be joining the team. His rehab's already been pumped up to AAA. He's potentially going to be joining the team for their West Coast trip. Okay, they face Seattle for 3. They face Oakland for 3. And then they come back and face the Mets after that. So he could be one of the right-handed bats, most immediately returning, right? And if he does come, chances are it's either going to be Oswald Peraza or Pablo Reyes that get moved on from. And whoever doesn't get of those two guys probably gets moved on from when Stanton comes back, right? But again, I'll say this. I would not call up DJ if he's not going to be better than what we have here now. We're paying for his contract either way, whether he's playing here or not. So I'd rather get the better production at the top. Same thing goes for Stanton. I like both guys. I love Stanton, but I love the team better. But you let me know. But obviously, there are justifiable concerns with the Yankees offense. But probably the ugly, glaring spot is the Yankees have blown 5 leads. Their bullpen has blown 5 leads after the 8th inning, or from the 8th inning on. That's the biggest kind of hole. Aside from that, the Yankees offense is at the tops in home runs, RBIs, on-base percentage, slugging. They're at the very, very top of these right now. So their production is not non-existent. It's there. It can be robust at times too, as displayed last night when they scored 10 runs in the 7th off the first place San Diego Padres, right? So, and what cost them the game before that? The bullpen. What won them the game last night? The offense. So 2 of the things I just talked about, proof's in the pudding, right? So, I want to know what your thoughts are, gang. And by the way, the first base experiment has worked. The Paul Goldschmidt experiment. When you compare him to Christian Walker, when you compare him to Carlos Santana, and I'll give you an example. I have the stats right here. Carlos Santana is batting .236. Christian Walker, .203. Paul Goldschmidt, .351. Goldschmidt's got, more bats, more hits. They're all around 3 home runs, 4 home runs. But his on-base percentage is 80 points higher than Santana and 120 higher than Christian Walker. Remember, this is a guy, Christian Walker, that a lot of fans wanted. I even thought he was going to come here. But He was attached to a QO, so I'm not surprised. And once they signed Max Fried, I didn't think they were going to sign a second player that was attached to a QO. It just didn't make any sense. His slugging is 120 points higher than Santana and 125 points higher than Christian Walker. OPS has about 200 plus points on both of them. So an OPS plus is about 50 to 70 points higher than these other guys. So significantly, the Yankees won the first base sweepstakes as it pertains to these guys. These are the other two guys that are most frequently discussed when it comes to the Yankees who needed a first baseman. Now, after this year, we'll see if Paul Goldschmidt comes back. Right? If he does, then that's great. But if he doesn't, does Cody Bellinger get moved over to first base? Right? Or does he stay in the outfield? And do the Yankees pursue another first baseman? I don't know. Does a guy like Jake Berger become an option who was just optioned out by the Texas Rangers? He's third base and first baseman. He hits right-handed with power. Could he be an option that the Yankees can store away for now in case something happens later? I have no idea. But the Yankees always like to keep all their options open. They're always on the phones. They're always working this and working that. So I'm confident in their ability to facilitate a move if they need to. We just don't have any idea who's going to be available and what the price is going to be. But the guys that would be great fits, their price is going to be super high. So, especially Brendan Donovan. But Nolan Aronado, again, being linked to the Yankees. Okay. His offense has kind of fallen back to earth after a hot start. But his glove still remains as elite. He's obviously a crafty veteran, solid veteran player. So, and he's close friends with Paul Goldschmidt too. So that could be a thing. But if an Arenado trade happens, it's got to be him and another pitcher, right? I could see the Yankees adding a relief pitcher, even though they've got Johnny the Wise, you got Clayton Beater, you got Jake Cousins, you got Scott Efros, all coming back. Efros started his rehab yesterday, and he threw a scoreless inning. So 4 guys coming back, not including Luis Hill. So with their relying on reinforcements, or bringing in a new fresh blood, I expect the bullpen to be continually reinforced so that they can address this problem of the blown back into the games. Okay. And which I'm confident they will. So, but you let me know what your thoughts are. Right? Let me know what your thoughts are. Because that's the fact. I mean, the offense has carried them. The bullpen has hurt them a little bit right now. In 5 games, the Yankees could have 25 wins right now instead of 20. So, but they're being linked again to the Cardinals. This is going to be a persistent thing until Arenado gets moved somewhere. And I do think he'll get moved. I just don't know where. And I know, my preference for the Cardinals is Brendan Donovan, but he would cost a heck of a lot more. You give me your take one way or the other, gang. We'll be back later when the lineup comes out. Game 3 against the Padres. The Yankees have a chance to win the series today before they head out west. And I hope that they do that. And it's going to be Dylan Cease versus Max Fried. So a pitching matchup extraordinaire. And Max Fried's having a heck of a lot better year than Cease right now. So, but guys have also shown they could stink and then they run into the Yankees and pitch like a Cy Young winner. That happens a lot. The Yankees have a tendency to gift average pitchers a lot of good innings for some reason. Heaney and the rest of these guys pitch well against the Yankees. So we got to jump on Cease. We got to jump on him fast. And we got to move Max Fried to, was he 6-0 now? We got to move him to 7 or 8 now. Got to keep getting him up there. Let's get into it, gang. Give me your take. What's the state of the Yankees in your mind? Let's go.